Hey fellas, how you doing? In this video I want to speak about, well, I just want to explain how to attract women for men. It's a great topic and I always get questions about this, and I've got so much experience within doing things wrong and doing things right and methods and what works. It's obvious, and I think men know this, and the way to attract women is to build a relationship with yourself. And the next question men will usually ask is, well, how can I build a relationship with myself? You have to have the courage to find out who you are. You have to have the courage to actually do things that make you feel good about yourself. So most men will take the obvious route and they'll go into things like pick-up artistry, which I dabbled in when I started. Men will focus on learning how to use lines to attract women, to manipulate women, to get women to like them. But let me just turn that around for a second. Let me just get you to think about that. Could you manipulate yourself? Could you use tricks on yourself? It's very difficult, isn't it? So what you put out, you attract. If you use tricks on women and pick up lines and lie, you're going to attract this type of relationships into your life. If you build an honest, congruent relationship with yourself, and you actually stop doing things in your life that make you feel guilty and ashamed, like watching pornography, like cheating in your life, like speaking about people behind their back, just things that don't make you feel good. Of course, if you eradicate these things from your life, you're gonna feel better about yourself. And that's really the secret. 11 years of experience doing a lot of things wrong and getting things right. When you feel good, it doesn't really matter what you say. In a sense that women can feel it. Of course they can feel it. They can read it in your eye contact. They can feel it in your voice tonality, just the energy that you bring. So it just kind of dawned on me, and I'm not disputing the fact that it's obviously beneficial to learn conversation skills and to understand female psychology, but you don't need to understand female psychology. You don't need to study hours upon hours of conversation skills to attract a woman. It's not rocket science. There's so much methods out there that they exaggerate, they break things down. You don't need to break it down, you don't need to analyze, you need to work on yourself. And you need to actually practice speaking to women, being yourself. But then most guys will say, but I can't just be myself because I'm not confident in myself. No, but you can be yourself. You actually have the courage to not be the separate selves, because this is what most men do. And it happened to me at my earlier stages. They're ashamed of who they are. They're embarrassed and they think they're not good enough. So they fake it, they put on a mask. But we're starting to learn, I'm learning more as I get older, that most women can actually see through that. And you're never going to trust a woman. You're not going to be happy because you're not being honest. You're being dishonest. And you're just going to be getting scraps. So you have to put yourself through terrifying fear. This is what I did. And loads of methods online are going to promise you quick fixes, but it isn't true. You don't develop confidence through a quick fix. You certainly don't build healthy self-esteem, successful women without actually going through discomfort and failure. I failed so many times. So just that in itself, that truth there always gave me confidence, because I knew this is something that I have to go through. And that's really how we always grow courage and confidence. We have to go through a process of suffering. And the suffering is actually you coming out of your comfort zone and putting yourself into situations that bring up anxiety and fear. And within that suffering, you learn a lot about yourself and about women. Now, of course, building a relationship is everything in your life. Your fashion for a start. Of course, how you dress is going to affect how you feel. The people that are around you, your friendships, the way you treat people, addictions. Most men I know that struggle with women that write to me and that I work with are heavily addicted. Pornography, alcohol, drugs, anger, violence, jealousy. I had all these things, so I'm not judging you. These things are going to unconsciously show up if you go on a date. So you can use all the pickup lines you want in the world and all of these techniques, but if you don't actually feel good in yourself, you're going to struggle. So it was common sense for me that self-confidence in itself is a complete separate area to getting good with women, but actually it's everything about getting good with women. Women are attracted to confident men. I've interviewed women, I've spent time with women, I've asked women, I've dated women, I've taught hundreds of men to date women, I've got men in relationships within my old teaching and my new teaching, and women will always say, what is it you find attractive in the man? One of the first things they'll usually say is confidence, or they may say sense of humour or charisma, but all these things are aligned with confidence. So it's confidence in yourself. So there's about 1,000 things you can do outside of talking to women that will actually help you build your confidence. So when you meet a woman, you're more confident. Women are attracted to confident men. We're all attracted to confidence. And I'm just outlining this to explain it. I don't have to study the Darwinian theory of human psychology and tribal behaviours and needs. We know all these things unconsciously. Confidence breeds all these things. Confidence demonstrates high value. Confidence demonstrates that you can make a woman feel safe. Women are attracted to a man who loves himself. Women want a man who has the self-esteem and the compassion to love her. That's really what they want. And women are attracted to a man with social skills, social awareness. And you don't build social skills and social awareness by being dishonest and using tricks. That ruins your social skills. You have to be raw, you have to put yourself in situations. Sometimes you've got to be honest and just say to the woman, I am nervous. That's what I had to do. Until you build the self-courage, you desensitize yourself from anxiety and you actually become confident. But I'd really say it's an inside job. So yeah, by all means, of course, go out and speak to women in public places, go to speed dating events, do online dating, speak to women in parks. If you see a woman on the street, that's fine, as long as you're honest, I think. But it's really about building a relationship with yourself. And there's just so many ways to do that. One of the things that really helped me later on was, as I said, addressing a lot of my childhood issues with my dad and around the areas that brought on those fears. Everything's connected. Even the job that you do, even doing a job that you love, even having hobbies, even your tidiness, how you tidy your bedroom, your cleansingness, even faith. This can sound completely nothing, but it's everything. Even your religion, your faith, doing good for other people, anything that benefits yourself, even being kind, being honest. This is what attracts women. Certainly, if you want to attract a quality woman or a girlfriend, and practice. Most men who struggle with women are not practicing what they preach. I speak to a lot of guys and they say, I can't understand it because I'm actually a really good guy and I used to be good with women but I'm not getting women now. But when I spend longer time speaking to them, and this is not me being judgmental, this is actually me looking in the mirror in the camera and saying, I made this mistake myself at one time, you can see that they're very angry. And if a woman notices a lot of anger in a man, they're going to be put off by that. Especially a functional woman, maybe a woman who's not in a great place herself, but a woman who has got good self-esteem, attractive not just physically but spiritually. Women are very sensitive, we already know this. I mean, men are sensitive too, we're not silly. So it's a lot more deeper than just pick-up lines. And it sounds like a lot when you say build a relationship with yourself and get yourself right, but it's actually very fulfilling. And then what you say doesn't make too much of a difference. And then probably you could learn a few pick-up lines or learn a few things, a few chat-up lines. But it's not really the chat-up lines. It's never been about the chat-up lines. It's never been about the method. It's always about the person. It's always about who you are as a person or who you choose to be in that moment. And I've said it before, it's very important that you work towards being yourself. And the more you practice being yourself, socializing in general, the more you'll like who you are. You'll actually trust who you are. You can't trust who you are if you are 20 different people, personalities, and you're using methods to trick women or to make them like you. And I've thought about it, this line, you can't make a woman like you. You can't make anyone like you. And if you are going towards that way, you're definitely going in the wrong direction, because that's self-sabotaging. And even if you do manage to pull it off, and there's always a chance you will, playing a large numbers game, you're not going to like you. So a lot of men go out, and I did it in my past myself, they'll go out and they'll use methods, and they're actually people pleasing. You're actually studying female psychology to such an in-depth level where you're using every manipulation that you can to get a woman interested in you. That can work a little bit, but it never lasts. It always leads to dysfunctional relationships. So I'm telling you, the best and fastest way to attract attractive women or a beautiful relationship into your life is to work on yourself in the midst of talking to women. So go on dates, yes, Tinder, online dating, social events, single events. If you want to, use my old method, which is to speak to women on the street. But you've got to be honest. You've got to be an honest person, because the honesty is what breeds the confidence. If you're a dishonest person in your life, you're not going to have self-esteem, because you're going to be carrying the stories of guilt and shame. And when you sit with a woman face to face and you're around her, you're going to have stories playing in the back. I understand this on a deep level, on a spiritual level. So you're going to be sitting with a woman talking, and of course you're going to run out of things to say, or you're going to be self-conscious, because you're going to be thinking, last week I watched porn, the week before that I was judging people, the week before that I was dishonest, the week before that you're going to be carrying all this. So if you start clearing that out, you can turn up, you can sit with a woman, you can just have this, you just can have this, what's that feeling? Where you feel relieved, you feel free of, you don't feel guilty, you don't feel ashamed, and you don't have to be perfect to attract women. And all these things like conversation skills and teasing, we spend too much time on this stuff. We focus too much on the fine detail, but it's not the little details, it's the bigger picture. And the bigger picture is you have to like who you are. And it's really weird how it's almost doing the opposite. It's almost the opposite route. A lot of teachings and a lot of the stuff in the dating industry is heavily focused around the whole attention on what to say to a woman or what to do to get her to like you. But it's pointing back to the self. You're going out here to use tricks and say things. But I said to guys before, when they say, what should I talk about a woman? What better to speak about than what you find interesting selfishly? That energy will project on the woman. What I'm saying now in this video is probably drawing you in, because it's something that I actually enjoy to speak about. That energy that I'm talking about transfers over to you. It's coming from honesty, it's coming from real experience. So you're never going to be more confident than when you're speaking the truth. Most men struggle to attract women because they don't tell the truth. I get a lot of emails from men saying that this woman screwed me up, or she's gone out of another guy. It's because you're not honest. It's because you're not straight. You're not telling the woman what you want. You're not saying that you want a relationship. You're not being vulnerable. You're not being sincere. She can read that you're just saying you like her because you want to have sex. You're not interested in getting to know her as a person. You're not being congruent with what you're saying. And if you're not congruent with how you're living, what you say will fall on deaf ears. So I can't come onto YouTube and preach honesty and relationship advice if I didn't actually live honest in my life and actually have success in these areas and fell for many years in these areas. So it's congruent with what I'm saying, what I'm living. So it's powerful, it's poetic when you're actually saying and speaking from where you're living. And of course, if you're not good in one area, you can admit that. So this is the whole relationship. And the people that you're around, the friends that you're around, the negativity, the positivity, that shows up on the day. The music that you listen to, the food that you eat, all of these things that you're doing, your whole lifestyle shows up. And I've said it doesn't show up in words, it shows up energetically. And through years of going out, meeting women, doing day game, and I just, till I was blue in the face, I got actually sick of speaking about, not women as women personally, but because I spent so many years doing this, I mastered it in the sense of understanding that it came back to one principle, and the principle was self-love. And it's more energy. It's more about your energy. I remember when I was in a good mood, I could turn up on a date and say, I'm the worst guy in the world, you shouldn't date me. I'm just making a bit of fun here. I could say to a woman, my willy's small and I last 10 seconds in bed and I don't have a job and I'm the worst guy to ever date. It would still work. It would still work, and my willy's not small, it's just a joke, it's above average, and I'm not the worst guy to date. But I'm just having a bit of fun. But the energy, because I was confident in when I showed up. And of course, there were times when I wasn't confident, when I was in a bad mood, and we all get days when we don't feel good, and that was transferred within 10 minutes. And then I would be talking about great things, but it didn't transfer. So it's how we feel is the most important. Give me a good state and a good feeling every day of the week over a pickup line. So a guy who's in a good mood and feeling good in himself, he'll always outdo a man who's got great conversation skills and intellectual, but the energy's not there. Because women and men, all of us are attracted to energy. Women are attracted to love. Do you know what women want to feel when they go on a date with you? They want to feel love. That's what even if some women don't understand it on a conscious level, which they do, they want to feel love. They want to feel that this guy loves himself. And if they don't feel that, if they feel that you hate yourself and you're angry with yourself and you're angry towards them, they're not going to date you. You're going to put them off. And that's just a state of consciousness. It's got nothing to do with physical looks. I was never the best looking guy. But at the time when I went out, I'm stuttering. I outdid men that were better looking than me. I outdid them because I practiced more and I understood how to connect with women and being present. Most men are not present when they're with women. They're not listening. They're not listening, and you can tell when someone's listening by the way that they respond to what you said. So a lot of women will say, I've travelled from a different country to come to London, for example, to study, and it's been really difficult. And then men will just say, oh, what are you studying? They'll just miss the most important bit. And the most important bit, the woman was sharing a life story with you, obviously sharing that she's been through quite a lot. So you're not going to be in line with her emotions, connecting emotionally. So you're out of alignment because you're in your head and you're thinking about the result, about sex, about how to get to, like, you're not there emotionally. Women can sense it. So you're there, but you're in your head. You're thinking about what went wrong in the past. I've done it myself, by the way. It's a contradiction. I'm a hypocrite as well. But most of the times when I've got it right is when I've been present. I'm not desperate. I don't want anything. I'm just there, and we're just naturally letting things flow. So spiritually, men are not right, because the mindset is, I need to get sex, I need to impress women to impress men. You're not spiritually right. The mentality's wrong, the ethics are wrong. Come there with the truth, come there being honest, work on areas in your life, and just being in the process of working on yourself is attractive, because a lot of guys will probably watch this and they'll be worried, thinking, I don't have my life sorted out, I don't have a good job, I don't have good relationships. Just being in the mindset to start working on this makes a massive difference. And as I said, stopping the dishonesty. Don't speak bad about your friends behind your back. Don't be on a date of a woman telling her that you don't like your boss and you're complaining about your previous girlfriends. Don't make those errors, because this is all lower vibration negativity. Work on your fashion. Work on facing your social anxiety, because a lot of guys who write to me have got social anxiety, which is going to affect your women. And be honest, be vulnerable, and listen, be present. And I guarantee you won't have to say too much. And this can sound a bit arrogant. When I started to master this, when men would say, how long does it take to get a woman attracted to you? First 5 minutes, 10 minutes, that's the truth. Usually, I know it can be different. I know that these are it's not black and white. Some women could say it takes them a long time. But in general, if I'm being honest, energetically, if a woman is not attracted to you in the first 10, 15 minutes of a date, it's probably unlikely not going to work out. In most cases, I could be wrong, but in my experience, because women are quite decisive, so are guys, and they're really coming on a date to feel love. They want to feel that you love yourself, and they actually want to feel that you can love them. That's what they're most attracted to in a deep level. They're really looking for a man to love them, of course, and you're looking for the same. They're looking for that compatibility, whether it's energetically. It's always energetically. So as I said, contradictory to what I said, conversation skills, of course, is always good to improve, but your conversation skills improve by feeling good. When we feel good, the conversation always flows better. When we're doing good in our life behind the scenes, and we're not ashamed, and we're not doing things behind the scenes that we wouldn't want someone else to find out, when we're living clean, it shows up. It speaks 1,000 words. It shows in your eye contact, it's in your demeanour, and it will be transferred. And you won't have to do too much. So I personally would go that route about it, this is what I teach on my 6 weeks program. You can try the older framework. I don't recommend it. I did it myself, where you go out and you use pickup lines and techniques, and you're playing a massive numbers game, but you're not going to have anything that's going to be substantial and going to last long if you want a relationship, and you're not going to enjoy being you. If you don't enjoy being you, what is the point? What is the point of dating different women but you don't like yourself? You spend 24 hours a day of yourself. You're going to have sex with a woman, you're going to spend some time go away, you're going to be depressed, and I did this myself. When I changed it, you'll like yourself, you'll love your life, you'll enjoy the woman, and that's what builds attraction. And the great thing about being a man, and I'm sure women can learn from the same principles. I'm not singling women out, I didn't mean that to be chauvinistic in any sense. As men, we can keep improving our attractiveness as we get older. We can work on ourselves, we can join the gym, we can do public speaking, we can learn business skills, we can improve our relationship with our family. There's so many things that we can do. We can improve our fashion, we can get mentors, we can learn from other men, we can learn from women. Women have been great teachers for me. There's just so many things that we can do, but it always comes back to self-confidence. And it's there's just so much advice out there, and it doesn't really get down to the core issue. And I know, because I've taught men for years, and I've actually got experience myself. And it's a very simple principle. It's building a relationship with yourself, and it's going on a date, it's being around women feeling good. Just walking into a room and not saying the word feeling good. Watch the reaction from women. Practice it this week. Get yourself into a good state. Walk into a gym, walk into a hotel, and go into a singles event, feel good, and I guarantee you women will start looking over, people will look over you, because vibration is sensed. As human beings, we do sense energy. Women are very nurturing, and they're very feeling, very sensitive. So work on raising your state of consciousness, and I've been talking about that in videos. NoFap is one of the ways you can do it. Stop watching porn. Working on the spiritual stuff I've spoken about, like jealousy, disassociating with negative thoughts, because most guys, and I know this from myself, when they're on a date with a woman, they're engaging in negative thoughts. So my spiritual practice, if I'm on a date with a woman, if I'm with anyone, is to observe negative thoughts if they try and interfere with a conversation, and push them out. And usually I don't get too many negative thoughts, because I get myself very present, and I do that by being still and by listening. So just a simple exercise, what I'm doing now, is not to fidget too much. I know that can be hard if you're really nervous. So just to ground yourself and keep yourself, you don't have to be like a robot, but still, like I am now. It's quite hard for negativity to get in when you're still. When you're moving around and you're stressed, so you can be more still, you can be more relaxed. If you get really nervous, you can breathe, but listen and being present. And that's really what women want. They want a man who can listen, they want to be able to get their feelings out, they want to be able to talk, they love that woman, and they want you to be yourself. They want to see who you are, and it takes a lot of confidence to show who you are. You don't have to tell them every single dark secret, but energetically, you can show who you are. I've been on dates with women where I've been so present, it feels like the room is going to explode, and there's such a deep connection. And it's not really about the words. It's about the fact that I've got the confidence to show who I am, and it gives the woman permission to show who she is. Women want a man to make them feel comfortable. How the fuck are you going to make sorry my language, I didn't mean to swear, but how are you going to make a woman feel comfortable if you're not comfortable in yourself? You've got to make yourself comfortable. So this is a selfish act of kindness. And I think at some level a woman wants a man to be selfish in the sense of loving who he is, and then he's able to transfer that over to a woman. So I'm going to keep saying it again. If you don't love yourself and you don't build a relationship with yourself, how the hell are you going to expect a woman to find love in a woman? You're always going to be looking for validation outside. Now, contradictory to what I just said, it's okay to seek a certain amount of validation. We all do it, a healthy amount. But you've got to get the balance right. And you get the balance by exposing yourself to your fears, practicing being you, and working on congruency and shallow work, and all the things I've been talking about over the course of the last few months on YouTube. Now, I'm going to be giving a talk in London on all these areas of overcoming social anxiety, how to attract women, and how to increase your state of consciousness. And they all go hand in hand. So if you're struggling to attract women, it's because you're at a lower state of consciousness, because you're purposely putting yourself there. Raise your state of consciousness through integral living, honesty, refraining from addictions, and practicing being you. And I refuse to acknowledge that you can't just be yourself. You can be yourself. You have to practice. So that's what I've learned, and that should help you a lot.